Hi everyone, this is again Teacher Marie, and today we are going to talk about writing algebraic expressions. So at the end of this lesson, you should be able to translate English phrases to mathematical phrases and vice versa. That means mathematical phrases to English phrases, right? And properly differentiate between constants, numerical coefficients, and variables in a given algebraic expression. So, ano nga ba ibig sabihin ng algebraic expression? So, an algebraic expression is a combination of mathematical operations on a collection of constants and variables. So, take note of the words constants and variables. So, we are going to talk about them in a moment. And so, when we say mathematical operations, that involves addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, and kasama na yung exponents at saka yung mga square roots. So, an algebraic expression, take note of the word combination. So, ibig sabihin, pwedeng may dalawang mathematical operations na involved. Okay? Pwedeng constants lang din. Pwedeng variables. Pwedeng combination ng constant at ng variables. Pwedeng may isang mathematical operation lang na involved or pwedeng walang mathematical operation involved. Okay, so that's an algebraic expression. Example, 2x cubed minus 1. Okay, we have 3x squared minus 3y squared. We also have negative 3ab squared plus 3. So, take note na sa example A, the mathematical operations that we have here are subtraction. We also have multiplication. Ma'am, bakit multiplication? So, kapag may number at saka may letter na nagkatabi, so ang mathematical operation involved dyan ay multiplication. Okay, again, number at saka letter nagkatabi, ibig sabihin multiplication. Or dalawang letters magkatabi, multiplication din yan. Okay? So, in this case, 2x cubed. So, 2 times x cubed. Right? We also have exponents here, yung x cubed. Paano ibig sabihin yan? O mamaya, we are going to talk about that later. Okay? So, ano ba yung constant? A constant is a symbol that has a fixed numerical value. So, when we say fixed, hindi nag-change yung value ng symbol na yan. So, usually, yung mga numbers, no? Yung mga numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so we consider them as constants. So, in example A, 2x cubed minus 1, the constant is negative 1. Okay? Kasi, hindi mag-change yung value ng negative 1 dito. Okay, so, that's a constant. In 3x squared minus 3y squared, there is no constant. So, yung iba sasabihin na ang constants dyan ay yung 3 at saka negative 3. Well, in a way, yes, we can consider them as constants, but we are talking about constant term here. Okay, constant term. And we have a specific term for 3 and negative 3. Mamaya din yan. Okay, so in this particular example, we can say that there is no constant term. In negative 3ab squared plus 3, the constant is 3. Okay, ito siya. So, yung constant class, yung walang kasamang variable, ha? Walang kasamang variable. So, like negative 1 and positive 3 here in example C. Okay? So, sabi ko kanina, yung 3 at saka negative 3, may specific tayo na term. And we call them as numerical coefficient. Okay. Ano ba yung numerical coefficient? From the word numerical, no, number. Okay. Coefficient, ibig sabihin kasama. Kasama. Coefficient, co-employee, colleague. So, ibig sabihin kasama. So, it is a fixed multiplier of the variables in a term. Okay, fixed multiplier of the variables in a term. So, in example A, 2x cubed minus 1. Di ba yung negative 1? Ito yung constant. So, anong tawag natin dito kay 2? So, simply we call it as the numerical coefficient. Okay, numerical coefficient. So, kasama ng variable in a given term. So, this is one term. Okay, term. 2x cubed. So, ang kasama ng variable, yung 2. Okay? And we call this as a numerical coefficient. In 3x squared minus 3y squared, the numerical coefficients are 3 and negative 3. Okay? Numerical coefficients. And then, in example C, negative 3ab squared plus 3, yung negative 3 at saka yung, negative 3 is the numerical coefficient. Yung positive 3, we call it as a constant, a specifically constant term. Right? So, ano ba yung variable? Okay, variable. It is a symbol. A symbol that is allowed to take more than one value. So, hindi kagaya nung sa constant. Ang constant kasi isang value lang, no? Isang value lang. And it doesn't change. Yung variable naman from the word vary. Okay? It varies. It changes. Okay? So, it can take more than one value. In example A, in 2x cubed minus 1, the variable is x. Okay? Madalas, yung ginagamit as variables are the letters in the alphabet. So, A, B, C, D, E, F, X, Y, Z. No? So, pero pinaka-common talaga na ginagamit as variables are x and y. Okay? X and y. So, in B naman, we have 2y over 3x squared plus 4x minus 4. So, the variables here are x and y. Right? So, ibig sabihin yung x class, pwede tayong mag-assign ng 1 dyan. Pwedeng 2, yung value niya, pwedeng 3, pwedeng 4, and so on. So, x and y can take more than one value. That is why we call them as variable. It varies. Okay? In example C naman, we have 2x to the power of 5 square root of 7y minus 3. So, the variables here and x and y. Right? So, variables. Some important notes that we need to understand. Unang-una, constants are usually written as numerals. Yung sabi ko kanina, constants usually are numbers. While the variables are written as letters. Okay? However, there are instances when letters are also constants. May mga letters din na ginagamit as constants. And isa na dyan yung pi. Okay? So, in 2 pi r, the constants are 2 and pi. Yung pi kasi, it has a specific value, which is, we can round it up to 3.14. Diba? If you can still remember yung pi na number, 3.1416 and so on, no? So it's an irrational number. So it doesn't stop. It's a non-terminating and non-repeating decimal, yung pi. But we can round it off to 3.14. So again, yung pi is a constant because it has a fixed value, which is 3.14, right? So, and also 2. And the variable is r, right? While we are familiar with the 4 basic operations of addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division, we also need to accustom ourselves to other operations such as taking the root or raising to a power. So, yun ang sabi ko kanina, aside from the 4 basic mathematical operations, algebraic expression could also include yung mga square root, yung cube root, yung mga exponents. No? So, kanina, sa example ng algebraic expressions, may nasama doon na x cubed. So, ano ibig sabihin yan? It's actually an exponential form, which means that we have to use x as a factor thrice. Okay? Thrice, ibig sabihin 3 times. And that is x cubed equals x times x times x. So, yung dot na nasa gitna, ibig sabihin yan, multiplication. Yan, hindi yan decimal point, ha? Yung decimal point nasa baba at saka medyo mas maliit, no? Kaysa sa dot, which means multiplication. Okay? So, x cubed meaning 3 beses natin i-multiply yung x. Okay? And so, algebraic expressions are often used to represent real-world mathematical situations. So, it is very important to have a working knowledge on how to translate English phrases into mathematical phrases. So, we have here a table that shows some of the common phrases. and how they can be translated to algebraic expressions. Okay, example, we have the sum of x and y. When we say sum, ibig sabihin we add, no? We add. So, x plus y is the mathematical expression for this English phrase. Okay? So, pag sum, ibig sabihin plus. Pag difference, ibig sabihin minus. Pag product, ibig sabihin multiplication. Pag quotient, ibig sabihin division or divide. So, if we have here 2 plus a, so that's 2 plus a in symbols. Okay? A increased by b. So, when we say increased, ibig sabihin dinagdagan, no? We add. So, that's a plus b. Okay? Masyadong madali lang, di ba? So, f added to g. F added to g. Ibig sabihin, g plus f. Okay? G plus f. Yung f yung dinagdag kay g. So, that is why hindi siya f plus g. So, it should be g plus f. Kasi si f yung dinagdag kay g. The difference between x and y. So, difference minus difference between. So, that's x minus y. Pero pag sinabi, a subtracted from b. Take note of the word from. Okay? Subtracted from. So, ibig sabihin magmula kay o nagmumula kay b. Okay? From b. So, that's b minus a. So, hindi pwedeng a minus b, ha? Tandaan yung subtraction, hindi commutative. So, hindi pwedeng baliktad. It should be b minus a. Kasi from b. Another, 9 less than y. 9 less than y, so y minus 9. Okay, y minus 9. X minus h, ito diretso na. So, x minus h na yan. Okay? Lipat natin. Dito ako. So, x minus h, so that's x minus h in symbol. And so, we have the product of 3 and x. Sabi ko kanina, product, multiplication. So, ipagtabi lang sila, no? 3x. Ayan. 1 half of y. So, 1 half y. So, 1 half times y. Or pwede din itong division, no? Y over 2. Y over 2, that's also 1 half of y. Okay? And another, we have 4 times t. 4 times t. So, ipagdikit lang din yan. Pagtabi, 4t. The quotient of x and y, multiplication, division ng quotient. So, that's x divided by y or x over y. D divided by t. So, that's d divided by t. And x raised to 3, exponent ito. So, x cubed or x raised to 3. Ayan. Example. So, the length of a rectangle is 4 units longer than twice its width. If its width is w, then its length is 2w plus 4. So, let's try to understand this. Rectangle kasi, no? 4 units longer than twice its width. So, twice its width, kung ang width ay w, twice its width is 2w. Okay? And 4 units longer. So, that's plus 4. So, that is why we have 2w plus 4 for the length.